Hey traders, Raghee here, and in tonight's update we're going to talk about the CPI coming out tomorrow. Take a peek here. 8:30 a.m. before the bell, we're going to have CPI. Now for those of you that are not familiar with the CPI, it is of course the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index. And the thing to remember about this CPI, and I think we can get, kind of in the weeds about what the CPI says about pricing and used cars, and the expectation is it's going to grow basically 4.8 to 5.0 year over year. What I'm more interested in is the CPI as an indication of inflation. Now, the CPI number is actually what most people look at when they talk about inflation, but it's the PCE that the Federal Reserve looks at. Anything that's going to look at what the cost of things are for consumers has got to then also reflect some of the supply chain bottlenecks and even some of the labor issues that we've found as we come out of 2020 and in this sort of post-pandemic, if you will, economy. Here's the bottom line. This is the way that I look at it. At 8:30, and it's not going to be this clean, but it usually is pretty easy to gauge this way. This is what we want to look at. Tomorrow at 8:30, keep an eye on the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. All right, you want to look at the futures, ES and QYM. 8:30, this thing comes out. If the number is better than expected, not just for the expectations, but the previous. Now, better than expected would mean what? It would be higher. If this number is higher, I actually think equities could fall. Not dramatically, but there might be a sell-off. If this number is lower, in other words, inflation is a little bit cooler than expected, lower than the 05, lower than the 06, and the lower the better, if this inflation number looks lower, equities should like this. And this is the most basic general way to look at this. If inflation is not heating up a lot, if inflation is something that the Federal Reserve doesn't have to keep an eye on because the economy is overheating and inflation's ticking up, then investors and traders will assume that we can continue to see higher highs and strength in the economy because the Federal Reserve won't act soon. In other words, we can keep that 2023 trajectory, and maybe if the data suggests the economy isn't as hot as the Federal Reserve may fear it is by way of growth and inflation, we can continue to push off the taper. We can continue to push off the eventual 50 basis point rate hike that the market's essentially priced in for 2023. Okay. Now, let's take that within the context of the trend that both the NASDAQ and the S&P, or if you want to take a look at the QQQ and the SPY. Here's what I will mention. If you are looking at the indices, just look at the futures. You don't have to trade them, but you want to look at the more 24-hour variety representing the futures, not the 9:30 to 4, which is what the QQQ and the SPY would represent. So you can watch the ES to trade the SPY. You can watch the NQ to trade the QQQ. So you'll see I'll favor tracking what's happening based on the more 24-hour S&P futures. These are double green markets. I'm not even allowed to short these. And really, this extends not only to the daily time frame, but this extends to the intraday time frame as well. The path of least resistance, isn't that blatantly obvious, continues to be up. But why? Well, it's a really simple, two simple tools. Color-coded, because gosh, is it hard to argue with colors? We all know a red light from a green light from a yellow light, don't we? Well, this is kind of similar. So I've got the 8, 13, and 21 represented by the top row of colors here. I've got the 34 represented by the bottom row. The reason I separate them is 8, 13, and 21 exponential moving averages are great at reflecting near-term sentiment and momentum, which, by the way, bullish. The longer-term trend, also bullish, and it has been since you can see the 24th. I am not allowed to short this market. Buying on the pullbacks, no problem. Day trading to the long side, no problem. The higher probability is going to be up in a double green. All right, so I'll focus. I'll call this double green. And what the focus is again is a fully stacked 8 over 13, 13 over 21, 21 over 34 series of exponential moving averages. But again, we separate out the 34 to understand the trend in a more nuanced and accurate way. So again, what will CPI do? That's the way I'm going to look at it, but I'm also going to view pullbacks in the S&P and NASDAQ as absolutely viable. And quite frankly, even though the Dow has not gone to double green quite yet, you'll notice the lower row is yellow, we are flirting with new highs up in here. And I would say while it's not ideal, pullbacks on the Dow will start to become a little bit more viable. Or we'll talk about the relative outperformers in the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ, as well as other relative outperforming sectors in the premium video. I'll see you there. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.